How's it going, everyone? Bob here, KD4BMG, back with the FT-101EE restoration. You're wondering where I got to. Well, it had nothing to do with Paul, the individual who did the restoration on the radio for me. And again, I'll leave his information in the description below. I purchased a used microphone that had to be returned because I didn't even hook it up to the radio and I realized it was defective. A second one and it was defective. And then a third one, I just purchased the new cheapie off of eBay and it's worked just fine. So here's a quick clip of Paul making a QSO and then we'll come back right to the radio.
Yeah, QSO, the dipole. I'm running a vertical 8 feet off the ground, vertical 8 feet off the ground, and a Yaesu 101EE, about 125 watts. Thank you very much. You're sounding good coming out of Cuba from Whiskey 4 United Sugar. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
There you go, Cuba.
In addition to Paul showing me step-by-step what he was doing in the refurb process, he put the radio through its paces once he completed the restoration. He went through all of the bands and did multiple QSOs and sent them to me. I have a record of them. So I know the radio's in fantastic shape. Let me show you real quick how you actually tune up to a band per se, or a frequency, and then covering a certain band. I'm sure somebody's going to scold me in the comments below that I'm doing this incorrectly. I'm just learning. This is how Paul described it. I think I understood his directions like this. Paul recommends that you get a power switch independent of the radio itself and leave this powered on constantly, as well as the heater powered on constantly. Have this unit plugged in, because remember, this is plugged into 110. This does not take DC power. And then have a separate switch that powers the plug. That way you're not wearing out old power switches that probably can't be replaced. I don't know how long the heater should be on before I start tuning. So before I did this the first time, I made sure I just let it run for 10 minutes while I was setting up my ham radio shack for the video. You want your tubes to be heated up before you start the tune process, and then this heater remains on while you're transmitting, so while you're using the radio. So if you want to go into the tune mode, and what you're doing is you're creating the maximum output power, make sure that you have a power meter that you're going through. Paul very specifically informed me not to be using this power meter. And so all of my dials are set up the way that he had indicated, and based on the videos that I have been watching. Remember, I'm learning this as I go. So to turn, you want to turn the mode switch to tune, and you want to be on the band that you're tuning to. I'm tuning for 20 meters, and you're going to tune up for maximum power output, going in a sequence of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. When I flip this PTT button up, it's going to go into a transmit, and you're going to see a carrier here. And then I'm going to quickly dial in for maximum power. Then I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to wait several seconds. And I'm not going to do that here on the video. I'm going to spare you the waiting period, but I was waiting 10-15 seconds in between. I believe it allows the tubes to cool down, and then I'm going to go into the second tune, and then I'm going to go into the third tune. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is how Paul suggested I do it. So let's just go ahead and do it. I'm in tune mode, and let's see, all of these other levers, I believe, are in the correct place. So watch the meter. I'm going to go into tune. And oh, look at that. You can see there is maximum power. Turn it off back to the center location. I'm going to pause, and then I'll pull this out of the video, and you'll just see me go in sequence pretty quickly. But I am taking more time than would be indicated by the length of the video. Now I'm tuning up on the plate for maximum output. Right there's maximum output. Now I'm going to tune up on loading. And now I have maximum output going through these three dials, these three selectors. And you could go through this sequence again. I guess as I would learn the radio, I would know how many times I need to do that. And again, I'll cut out the dead space in the video. Let's go back and do this again. So it looks like I might have already been dialed in really close. So now that we have the radio tuned for maximum output, we're going to go to upper sideband because we're on 20 meters. We'll put some volume. And let's just spin the dial. The bands aren't that great today, but we'll see if we can... All right, so let me show you my first 2 QSOs with the FT-101EE. Kilo Delta 4 Bravo Mike Golf. Roger, roger. You're 5555 Tampa, Florida. 7-3. Have a blast activating. Kilo Delta 4 Bravo Mike Golf. So there you have it. I've conquered vintage technology. Not even close. It's a process. There is an awful lot to learn about this, and I can guarantee you that half of the dials are not set correctly on the face of this radio right now to maximize any of those QSOs that I had. I'm coming near the end of the journey. Thanks for those who stuck around with me. I was thrilled today to finally be able to make my first QSOs with this radio after a multi-month journey, much longer than I ever anticipated. I've learned some things. I've learned some things about myself. I've certainly learned some things about technology that I've never touched before, and I'm going to share those things with you in a video to close out this series. I'm glad I did this. But what are my plans long-term for the FT-101EE? Will it remain part of Bob's Ham way of life? Will it stay in the shack? You won't have to wait weeks to find that out. It will post the very next day after this video releases. You might be surprised at the answers. Thanks for sticking around, friend. Talk to you soon. 73.